What's up, everyone? It's Jason here. Today, we're doing a little bit of a recap on AMC so far this week, what I think is going to happen to the end of this day, and going to go over some of what was said today on CNBC on trade, trades, and review. We'll break it down. If you haven't, make sure to smack that like button below. Helps out this video, helps out new people learn about AMC. And if you're not a sub, smack that sub button, hit that little bell notification, and let's get right into it. Really quick, if you're wondering what charting system I'm using here, I'm using Webull. There's a link down in the description. You sign up right now, put $100 on, you can get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,800. You get these tier 2 NASDAQ views, which shows buys and sells coming in and out of the market. You stay up to date before anybody else. Well, as you can see right now, we are currently right around 53 bucks in intraday trading. So this morning we did start at about a low of $45. Made our way up though, going into the market hours to right around 50 bucks. Made it all the way back up to almost 58 bucks at $57.48. Came right back down on this line again. We've had multiple tips right here. We've had 1, 2, 3 tips right here at the 1550 area line. Currently, though, we're at 52, 53 area, almost 53 right now, up 3% on the day. I honestly do think getting closer to the day, I think we're going to go up even more, though. You have a little bit of FOMO filling in. You have that weekend buzz, though. So I know there's a little confusion around. There's a lot of people spreading things like, obviously shorts can't short today because of SSR. They can, obviously, you can short on the way up. You just can't short on the way down on SSR day. So there's still going to be shorts shorting right now. But obviously, we have had some shares returned over the last, a couple of days here and there. We'll go over those Ortex numbers and go over why those numbers are like they are and how much shorts are still to cover. It's way, way, way more than the shorts has already been returned again. We talked about this a couple of days ago that we had some smaller firms probably return some short shares. No big dog, though, has touched their shares in terms of return. There's been a lot of people still doubling down and shorting. We'll go over those numbers in a minute as well. We did have this big pull up though on the second over here on Wednesday, pulling up all the way to $77.26. We've had a little bit of pullback obviously since then, but that's very, very normal. I know there's a lot of fear and FUD going on yesterday as well. That made a lot of drops happen yesterday. So far today, there is a little FUD. We'll go over some of that FUD later today, obviously on the bigger catch-up video for AMC. That we have coming out later today. So make sure you guys hit that sub button below. You can keep up to date with everything that's going to be going on. I'll be bringing lots of updates. Again, a big update later today as well. But so far, it's been very, very nice. This chart is amazing right now. We had the pullback, and now we're starting to see this pullback up. You could see a start of a cup and handle start to form at some point as well, going into maybe later today or going into Monday. But I do expect this chart to continue going upward. Again, the majority of the shorts have not been returned yet. We have over 100 million plus shorts to be covered, and that's not counting synthetics and all that good stuff that could be out there. So the upside is still very, very massive. The actual short squeeze has not even began yet. Now, going over the Ortex data really quick, I'll have another update on this as well at the later end of the day. The exchange reported short interest currently right now is at 94.58 mil. 7 days ago, was at 87.55 million, which is a change of 8.02%. Estimated short interest percent of free float currently is at 17.46. Previously was at 16.70, which is a change of 4.55%. Percent free float alone currently is at 27.11. 7 days ago was at 25.94, which is a change of 4.51%. Shares alone continue going back up. Is at 138.55 mil. 7 days ago was at 132.54 mil, which is a change of 4.53%. Right there alone, it tells you that obviously the shorts that are out there way, way more. They continue to short more every day. Days to cover is currently at 1.06. 7 days ago was at 1.35, which is a change of negative 21.51. The 2 week though currently is still at 2.14 days to cover. Cost to borrow currently is at 10.36. 7 days ago is at 9.23, which is a change of 12.21%. Utilization, though, continue to go right back up here. So currently is at 98.91. 7 days ago was at 99.45, which is a change of negative 0.54%. Again, this number is going back up. Yesterday it was at like 98.4. We'll see what the later data is. I continue to probably see this utilization going back up. Obviously, I had those shares released and yada, yada, yada. So that brought the utilization down a little bit. But again, over 95% is massive high. We're continuing to buy those up. We're continuing to own the float here. And I don't see that, changing anytime soon. Ortex did have an update. It says, after very turbulent start, AMC has been trading above last night's close for the last hour, currently up around 5%. We just looked, obviously, up around 3% right now, so it's holding very steady, right? We've had the ups and downs. But again, holding positive on the day. I continue to see that throughout this day, and maybe even having a pretty good rip, maybe going into close because of the FOMO and things like that. We do have the weekend, obviously, so I do expect some big movements. Shares being returned exceeded new borrowed by 8 times, with over 7 million shares returned. Now, guys, remember this right here. This data is going to a couple days old, right? So those 8 million, those what is it, 8.25 million shares borrowed versus the shares borrowed today. So shares returned was at 8.25 mil. Shares borrowed was at 1.04 mil. These shares borrowed were the ones that came back on Wednesday, guys. And that right there, that 8 million is a very small percentage of like the 150 something million that were loaned out. That's not counting synthetics. So that shows you if only 8 million were returned, obviously a few days ago, guess what that means? And you see that big of a bump? Just imagine when, you see 100+ million returned and how far the price on that stock's going to go, right? So just remember that. And we don't even know how many synthetics are out there, correct? And the short interest percent of free float right now is at 16.55% of free float. We're going to see that number probably edge back up into the 17-18% range again because they're continuing to, again, borrow the shares. We haven't really been any big returns since Wednesday. We went over this Wednesday on one of the videos and obviously in our Discord. So make sure you guys join our Discord channel. I posted the ones that were getting returned from shorts on Wednesday. Again, they were smaller firms that had maybe, borrowed 500,000 shares or 800,000 shares. Not these big guys who have 30, 40 million, you know what I mean? Crazy amounts of shares. That's not counting synthetics and things like that. So the naked shorts, just remember, guys, the short squeeze, the bigger short squeeze has not even begun yet. We're in the beginning rounds. This is how it always happens. You have this big up and then you come back down a little bit and then you just rock it. I expect to probably see that continue. Looking over here at the iBarrow desk, let me update this really quick, though. So currently we have 1.3 million shares available to borrow. Fee is currently at 11.2%. Again, great numbers there. I think we'll start seeing this borrow right here go back down, though. Remember, those shares were released. That shows 11.5 million. And then a few days ago, those 8.5 million as well. So just remember, some of those shares are going to make it back into the market. They'll be available for a little while. And let's be honest, they're going to short those. And we'll buy some of those up as well and hold them ourselves. I bought some more shares yesterday at 39 bucks on that big dip off those options. I cashed in the other day. I told you guys I was going to buy more shares. I bought more shares on the bigger dip. I knew one was going to be coming eventually because I knew there'd be a lot of FUD coming out because that's just how it goes. When you start going, man, you get FUD, you get pullbacks. Rocket back up, FUD, and then a little bit more of a pullback. Rocket back up. I expected that to happen. That's the reason why I got that money. I remember I still own 10 contracts, though, for December 2022. I don't think I'm going to get rid of those. I'm not going to get rid of those anytime soon. Maybe once we get a certain point, I'll cash out, and I'll probably buy more shares again. Hold for you guys. That's what I'm here for. If you guys like that, make sure you guys smack that like below. And currently, though, there's 137,650 calls that are expiring in the green today. That is amazing. I think we'll see more expire in the green. We'll go over those numbers later. Those are good. They're really good to see, though. And we had some big news, guys. We had some big news, man. Research firm raises price target on AMC stock, but still thinks it's dropping to $7.50. Man, they really raised it big time here, man. Research firm Wedbush raises 12-month target price of AMC Entertainment on Friday by $1. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh here. As AMC stock nearly doubled this week to $51, riding a wave of enthusiasm from Reddit posters, Wedbush took its price target to $7.50 from $6.50. Man, let's get a round of applause for those guys. They went big. They went hard, man. They raised us all the way up to $7.50. Thank goodness. I think we all know what you think about that, man. So AMC has made the best of its current meme stock status by selling shares at a premium and has raised significant capital doing so, Wedbush analyst said. That is true, obviously. It is true, very true. Should AMC use its current cash balance to meaningfully reduce its debt and create earnings growth opportunities, we could envision a justified price target as high as $10, guys. If they pay off their debt, they're gonna raise it to $10, man. God. God bless Wedbush, man. Literally takes geniuses over there to come up with some of these price targets. Oh, God. So last but not least, Trey was today on CNBC. Right here's the article. AMC worth about half its skyrocketing stock price, says retail investor Trey Collins. Now, what happens is, at the end of the day, man, these places are going to take little snippets of a comment and they're going to make it the headline because that's what causes clickbait. People know Trey, obviously, from AMC. So that they see Trey saying it's worth half its skyrocketing stock price, which obviously it is. It's worth around like 20 to 25 bucks. I've said this plenty of times myself, from a free cash flow. That does not count a short squeeze though, right? So short squeeze, you don't go by technicals with a short squeeze, man. You go by kicking some hedge fund booty, right? So obviously Trey here said that it was worth around 20, 25 bucks. We went over this from the free cash flow models ourselves. Yes, true. But they took that and obviously ran with it. Again, they're looking for clicks. It's what it is. So Trey Collins, to host a Trey Trades channel on YouTube, said he believes the fundamental value of the company shares will be $20 to $25 by the end of 2021. I've said that plenty of times on our channel as well, going through the free cash flow models. I think most of the retail investors understand this is not the true fundamental value of AMC. Obviously, we know this. This is because hedge funds are, trying to bankrupt AMC and trying to make it go under. They don't want to pay any money to get those, and they want to make lots and lots of money off these shorts. The 23-year-old Collins used social media to document his investments in the stock market and has become a de facto mediator between AMC and its largest shareholder base, who call themselves apes. Hey, man, we're here. We're large and in charge, baby. Let's go, my dude.
There is something happening here, which is a divorce from reality in terms of the fundamentals of the company, of the business. In fact, yesterday, Adam Aron and AMC said that effectively when they sold their shares to the public, by the way, who've given them now potentially a new lease on life. We'll see in terms of the cash that they're raising. But for the company, it's not a game, right? It's not a casinoification or a speculation. It's a business with employees. And so how do you think about that piece of this?
I think Adam Aron, and I get a lot of flack for this. I get called a 23-year-old naive kid for trusting what the CEO does, and I'll take that heat every single time because I believe in history, trends, and facts. And the facts are that Adam Aron is setting the bar in terms of CEOs, reaching out to retail investors and caring about what the retail investor is asking for, what they're looking for, what they care about, as well as watching out for the long-term health of the company. They've raised well over $1 billion in 2021 alone, which is really going to help set them up for the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years. They can acquire different family movie theater chains who did not survive COVID, who did not survive the quarantine process, who might never open their theaters again, right? And really do some great long-term success. Now, with this short-term, momentum trading, there inevitably will be people that don't invest in AMC long term. But I think there are going to be lots of people who do invest in AMC long term, myself being one of them, because I truly do believe there is a long term fundamental value for AMC. Is that right now? I don't think so. I think that most of the retail investors of the apes understand that this is not the true fundamental value of AMC, and that's where the risk comes into play, right?
So Trey, what do you think the real value of AMC? What do you think the real value of AMC is? And you look at some of their competitors that are also publicly traded companies. You could look at the bonds, which are trading at a pretty steep discount.
Right. So the market cap for AMC, if I remember correctly, was just over $10 billion not too long ago. And you look at companies like Cinemark, which were trading at about $1 billion. Now, I think that you look a couple quarters down the road, we get more quarantine restrictions to be lifted, and the revenue starts rolling back in for AMC. You've got two things are going to start happening. You've got a lot of these hot movies that are coming out, which are going to roll in some great revenue, and you've got a new factor that can't really be accounted for and quantified, which is social and cultural sentiment towards the company itself. There are people that genuinely love AMC stock simply for the culture that it's built, the people that have come together for some sort of love for the theater, and the money that's made people. I think there's going to be gratification towards the company that's ultimately going to help them make money. With all that being said, I truly do believe that the fundamental value of AMC would be somewhere in that $20 to $25 range, in 2021, end of 2021, when they're fully back in capacity, fully bringing in that cash flow and that sort of nature.
But that's half of where it is today.
Correct.
So what do you tell if you're saying that the value of it's half of what it is today, what do you tell your followers who are buying it today, who eventually At some point, if it's going to go down, right?
Fundamental value is different than momentum trading, right? Now, just because, so this is a fact. The market is, the stock market tells you exactly what every single security in the market is worth in that given moment. So at this given moment, if there's somebody out there that's willing to buy AMC stock, it's trading at $47 right now. Somebody's willing to buy AMC stock at $47. That means at that moment, it's worth $47 to somebody. You know, the momentum trading aspect of it, even if it doesn't necessarily reflect on their current earnings or their future projected earnings, that doesn't mean that there's not money to be made. In fact, I know there's a lot of people who have made money out there. I've read some of the stories. I've read of the people who have become millionaires off of AMC stock. You can take advantage of momentum trading. In fact, I think this is a new age of investing.
But I think the question I'm asking is, am I supposed to be concerned that, I mean, people have talked about these types of things over the years as pump and dump schemes where people talk up a stock, right? And there are some people who are very educated. Trey, you seem to know a lot about what's going on. And by the way, there's a lot of people online trading this right now that do understand all of the dynamics. But then there seems to be a lot of people who don't. And by the way, people make mistakes along the way. Yesterday, I noticed you had said at one point that you thought when AMC first put out that announcement about the 11.5 million shares, you know, you would put out a tweet telling everybody, no, that's actually old news. It's from a different. It's from an old filing, and that proved to be wrong. And so I ask you that because I think that there are people who are listening to you, and in terms of how you think about your own responsibility to all of the other apes.
Right, and I appreciate you holding me responsible, Andrew. That's totally okay, and I hold that weight very, very heavily in being careful about the things that I say and put out online. You know, now the big message that I've always preached and tried to live by over the last 6 months, and I think what really takes any sort of risk and overexposure to AMC stock off the table is only investing into it what you're willing to lose. You know, especially call options. This has been something I've talked about with the call options chain over the last, it's probably 3 months, is view these call options, buying a $70, $80, $100, $110 call, essentially as a decent odds lottery ticket. That's what those are, right? Because we can't predict the volatility either up or down in either direction for AMC stock. But I'd say it's a better odds lottery ticket than you've got doing something else. And I'm never going to pretend that's not what it is, right? Because that is what call options are. You're betting that a stock is going up, puts are betting it's going down, So as long as you are really limiting your exposure and managing your risk, managing your exposure to the stock, and you're not putting yourself in a situation where you can't pay your bills, that you can't take care of your family, you can't feed your mouth, right? I think that you're sitting okay. And the fundamental value, I won't argue that in the least bit. The fundamental value of AMC stock is not where it's trading right now. But it will come back down to that eventually when the squeeze is all said and done. But the storyline has not been written yet.
Well, there you have it. Trey was on CNBC today. It seemed like they tried to get Trey caught up with that whole, where the fundamental value of AMC is and things like that. What it doesn't seem to get, though, is that I don't think they get, shorted stocks and how companies like hedges are hedging, trying to hedge AMC down to zero, and how short squeezes work. Those news anchors and people like that aren't all like up to date with shorts and things like that. Obviously, they're going to try to get them on questions and see if they can make trades stumble. Just like if I was on there, they would try to get me to stumble up and so on and so forth. I think we all know that, the fundamentals are, you're out the door in fundamentals when it comes to short squeezes. It's all about the momentum and where hedges are buying back in and how far the stock pushes, yada, 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 yada. I think most of you guys know that out there as well. Everything is a gamble, but at the end of the day, man, these are precise gambles that can obviously make you a lot of money if you're playing it just right. And we all know that there's lots of short shares to be returned. Only around 8 million or so short shares were returned on Wednesday. And you've seen how far it pushed the stock up, over $70, guys. And there's over 130, 150 plus million shares out there right now to be returned. And that's not counting synthetics and things like that are out there. So this thing right here can show you how far this thing can go. And that's the reason why people are thinking this stock could go as far as it wants to go, as long as people aren't selling their shares and all the people are diamond handing, which is what I plan to do. I'll diamond hand for you guys if you guys can. If you did like this video, make sure to smack the like button down below. If you're not a sub, think about hitting that sub button, hit that little bell notification, share this video everywhere, man. That way everybody can see it, whether it's on Reddit or Twitter or wherever. I appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Helps out new people learn about AMC as well. And if you haven't joined our Discord, think about joining the Discord channel. Amazing group of people over in Discord, over 1,600 people, might be 1,700 now. We had a lot of new people joining in the last couple of days. If you haven't joined that as well, a great community over there. We're always talking it up. It's busy right now in there. I will see you guys, though, in the next video. I'll see you Starside. Peace out, fam.